Okay, now I want to try to help you out to get started on using InDesign. We are going to do InDesign tutorials, and when we do the projects, we'll use InDesign to do, I can't say for sure all of it, but we will use InDesign quite a bit. And sorry for the noise in the background. That's one of my security system components. Her name is Maisie. But anyway, I'm gonna show you a little bit here about using InDesign to try to help you get started. Now, let me say first of all that some of you may be really good with. You may have some experience with InDesign. You may have experience with other kinds of similar programs. Some of you may have absolutely none. Some of you may be really good, and this kind of stuff may be intuitive for you. Some of you may be more like me. I'm better at the theoretical stuff than I am the practical application. I can do it, but I'm not like, one of the faster, really great people at doing that kind of thing. And now keep in mind what I show you, everybody's is always going to be a little bit different depending on what your computer setup is and how everything works in your setting. But I want to show you some stuff to try to help you out. Now, you will want to enroll in the plan, and you can see here that I did that. I've got monthly payments. I'll just cancel it once we finish with the class. So that's what you would go into Adobe when you click from the syllabus. Let me see, I've got the syllabus over here. When you click from where'd it go? Here we go. Click here for more information under course text and materials, and that should take you to the site where you can actually set up for the monthly plan on InDesign. And then here you can click on this. You will need to download the application, or however wherever you download your applications, however that works for you. And then when you open Adobe, it will look something like this. So once I downloaded it, then I have a Mac, so I go into Finder and then and then click on InDesign under Applications. Open up the application. Now we're going to be doing tutorials. And let's see. No, I don't need that. Yeah, and I showed you that. Okay. The tutorials. To find the tutorials, from when you're over here in the Adobe, the plan, then somewhere, where was it? Somewhere you can find the tutorials. Okay, let me go back over here. There we go. Okay, so I was here. I clicked on this, and that's where you can see the tutorials. So and what I did is I clicked on the InDesign. You go down till you find that. There it is. And you would want to install it initially. You don't have to do that once you get it installed. But then when you get to the tutorial pages, see, I also have Acrobat installed. But on InDesign, I clicked on that to get the tutorials. And then for the first tutorial, I want us to start with Get Started with InDesign. Now, I want to say, if you know InDesign, and if you're really good with this stuff, and this getting started seems like it's just too easy for you and not not useful to you, pick something else. Pick something else you want to learn, or whatever works for you. And then after you finish a tutorial, you will need to post in Blackboard that you actually completed whatever the tutorial or tutorials were for, that 2-week period. And then a lot of the times with the tutorials, they'll have you create something. They'll have you work on a file. Let me show you that over here. See here from this first tutorial, these are the files. And then when you go over here into Adobe, this is one of the files that I opened up. And then let me try to open up this third one. I wanted to show you one other thing. More often than not, you'll get this kind of stuff. Missing fonts. You can just skip it, replace the fonts, activate. Those, I don't know, those have some different reasons why you would do them, but don't worry too much about that. And then you can do activate or done or whatever. So just do that, and then it will open up the files for you. So if you find a file that looks like it's not going to work, then just, usually you can just get past all of that stuff and have the file that you can work with. So hopefully we won't run into too many of those kinds of problems. So anyway, that gives you some things to get started with. One other thing, like I was saying, we all definitely have different levels of how we're good with this kind of stuff. If you feel like you're not the greatest with this, just do the best you can. And when you post in Blackboard that you've done the work, as we get into some of the tutorials that are a little bit harder, you may not be able to get the file to do what the tutorial's telling you to do. I'm not going to punish you for that. What you need to do is, when you post in Blackboard, just tell what happened, what you tried, what didn't work. As long as you're putting in the effort and learning something from how to use the program. Because usually what you'll turn in Blackboard is, usually they'll have you work on some kind of a file. They'll give you a template, a file, like these files I showed you here, and they'll have you do something. A lot of times the file may be an old file that's not updated. Those things happen all the time. You probably all have had something like that, but don't worry about that stuff. Just get in there and play with it. Learn what you can. Do the best that you can with it. Just explain when you post, what happened, dilemmas, concerns, whatever. Now, one other thing, and I'll stop on this for this one. If you let's see. Oh gosh, what now I've forgotten it. I went on to that other point and I have forgotten it. So anyway, it had something to do with getting started with InDesign. But for right now, I know what it was. You may be asking, why are we doing InDesign? Because there are a lot of programs out there where you can do the same kinds of stuff that you do with InDesign. And I know Canvas is one that people are using a lot currently. Students really seem to like it, and from all I've seen, it looks like a good program. Any program you have to do this kind of stuff, they're all tools, and the secret with tools is that use the right tool for the right purpose, and you use it in the right way. So any tool can be used well, any tool can be used poorly. So, but the reason that we use InDesign in this class is that many of the jobs that are posted related to document design and publishing do actually call for some experience with InDesign. So it is a very commonly used standard application that it's a good thing to have some experience with. Now, if you're not going to do a job where you're going to need that kind of thing, it still can be beneficial to you. Anytime you have understanding of how something like this works, even if you're working with someone that's doing the practical work in InDesign, if you have some knowledge of how all that works, it just makes makes it better for you, makes it easier to work, with the other people in your groups, etc., etc. So, that's the main reason. It's not that, we think this is the only one or the best one or anything like that, but it's more a matter of providing something that will be useful to you whenever you go to get a job, or whenever you're working on some kind of projects that you have, whether you're doing that for school or whether you're doing that to get paid. So anyway, hopefully this is helpful. I know that we'll have snags. The first couple of weeks we'll be trying to figure all this out, and so just jump in and we'll work together and get through that as best as we can. And so just hang in there and enjoy, and don't worry too much. All right. That's all for now to get us started, hopefully.